Season previews in the BC Hockey League continue as we are now up to the Surrey Eagles, looking ahead to 2016-17. Joined right now by the head coach and general manager of the Eagles. It is Blaine Neufeld. Blaine, thanks so much for taking the time to chat here.
Absolutely. Pleasure to do so.
So looking ahead to this season for your squad, obviously back-to-back years outside, looking in terms of the playoffs in the BCHL. When it came to filling the holes in your roster and recruiting this season, what were you looking for?
Well, we were looking for speed. I think as we kind of touch base with our group here through main camp, something that we want to characterize ourselves as is one of the fastest teams in the country. And that's just, I know we're not trying to sound arrogant or cocky. That's just the mentality that we want to bring forward with our group. So speed and skill, we do have the big sheet of ice here in Surrey, and we've got to use it better than we have in the last 2 years. We're humble enough to say that we haven't had success and haven't necessarily done it the way we need to do it here in Surrey in the last 2 years, but we're feeling very encouraged with the recruits and the trades that we have made, where that success that's been so rich in our community for so long will come back this season.
You're heading into your third season in this role with the Eagles. In terms of the recruiting game for your squad, when it all goes to putting together the Surrey Eagles, what goes into it?
Well, I think a lot of learning has gone into it. I think a lot of hard work has gone into it. What we've realized in the world of junior A hockey is you can do a couple of different things. You can turn your team around quickly in a year, but you can also find yourselves in some recruiting battles for the high-end guys that you want to win, and it takes a lot of work. We got a number of great locations in our league. I think it's encouraging to always hear that when you're talking to a really talented boy, he's saying, I'm going to play somewhere in the BCHL, but I don't know where, because the league is just that good, right? So what we learned was, there's a lot of phone calls and a lot of hard work that is put into kind of telling a kid that this is what we have for you, and we're hoping that it's the right thing for you, and we're willing to work with you. So all those things are kind of, as I enter my third season, and again, I'm saying it, I'm learning as we go, but at the same time, I think we're making some serious progression.
Leads right into my next question. From one season to the next, what did you learn last season, and is there anything that you realized and the organization realizes that you might need to change in terms of style or philosophy or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't think you can take any type of shortcuts. I think you have to have depth. I think you have to have speed and skill throughout your lineup. Like I said, the teams are too good. I thought the league got better as a whole. Shame on us, but at the same time, we thought that, and we did. We had a better team in year two than we did in year one, albeit the record doesn't show it. But it was a correlation of our league getting better as well. And kind of what we're seeing now is you can't have anybody out there that isn't high end in terms of the speed and the skill that this league brings.
So you talk about wanting to build this year's edition of the squad with some speed. Is there anything else that you can think of that fans could expect from your club this season compared to last?
I think our character will show through each and every single night. We got a tremendous group of kids that, they're coming from all over the place. So there's pride playing in the BCHL. There's pride playing here in South Surrey. There's the want to stick around and become a real hockey player. So I think the character is stronger than it's been in the past 2 seasons, which is encouraging for us because we do feel like we have a group now that we can mold in the way we've envisioned over the past couple of months. Adding my new staff members and everything that have had the experience at higher levels is certainly going to be an addition too. And we do think that we can influence 22 guys to become young men and good hockey players.
With some of the players that you've recruited and with some of the players you've acquired in transactions and some of your returning players, what would you say is a strength of this year's edition of the Surrey Eagles?
I think skill. I think what we've acquired in terms of players, 2 boys from out east, just a high amount of skill on the back end, high amount of speed. Grabbing Davidson back from Penticton was something that I think he had a lot of success here. We would envision that he would have similar success, if not more, with, the supporting act that we have supporting him now, which is a lot more better than it had been in 2 years. So I think our depth has been added in terms of recruiting. You've got good 99s now that can fill in good holes and show themselves and not be put under the microscope too much because it's, not required because we've got 96s and 97s above them in the lineup, right? So I think the I think the building blocks are there. It's our job now to kind of educate the new boys as to how this league is and how fast it might be and how good we have to be every single night.
What do you think is the biggest challenge facing your squad right now?
I think the unknowingness of some of the guys that are entering the league, which in terms of just not playing in it. I think the first comment that we have from new guys last year is, "Holy smokes, this is a fast league." So it's just adapting to that. We do have quite a few guys that have played junior hockey. A few from our past years here, but some guys coming up from higher levels, coming down in terms of major, junior, and such. But I think the new guys, I think just with our big sheet of ice and being prepared, that'll be our biggest challenge here. All we're worried about is what we can take care of and making sure that we stay in the moment, and that 30-second shift is all that matters. So I think once we get through the first couple of weeks, I think we're going to be totally fine. We do want to get off to a good start mentally because of our past two seasons. We go to the island early too, and I think that's going to be a benefit to our team togetherness and being able to get to know each other there.
When you look at a player like Darius Davidson, when you look at a guy like Paul McAvoy, it's clear what these guys bring to the table, and it's obvious that there's heavy expectations on them. But are there any players that you've got coming in that maybe played in a lesser role last season, and this season you're looking to them to take another step and maybe get an increased role and step up in maybe a better opportunity, I guess, in terms of ice time and responsibility?
Yeah, I think there's two that kind of jump out at me in terms of returning. Like, one thing we did halfway through the season last year is we kind of blew up what we had again and tried to find some higher-end Junior B guys from the interior that we knew that the following season they were going to be ready to go. And that was the purpose of what we did last year at the end of the year. So two players that have been very well responding in the summer months here was Logan Mostat and Robbie Johnson. Both players are guys that have great character. They're all about the team. They're all about working hard. And, I think most of that summer work is paying off right now, and they've really stood out in camp right away. And we're certainly encouraged how they look.
Certainly want to look at a new season as a fresh start for your squad, especially when you've gone through some trying times like you guys have for the last couple of seasons. But that being said, how important is it to have a number of players return, guys who know what the expectations are, what the organization is like, what the community is like, maybe guys that are familiar with the system? Is that an important part for your team when you're putting it together?
I think it's very important. I think it was important for us to find out from last year who was really about it, who wanted to be a hockey player, versus who just wanted to play hockey. That was something that we take to heart, and we found that there was a number of guys that wanted to show that they were hockey players and they wanted to do it the right way. So those are the guys that we kind of brought back. And in saying that, I think we're well ahead, definitely well ahead of where we were last year in terms of having the 8 or 9, 10 guys that had played here last year come back to camp and bring in the new guys, whether they're junior experienced or not. They're new to the area, and like you just said, having that knowledge and that comfort just kind of seeps into everybody else, and everybody's a little bit more comfortable right off the hop. I think our chemistry is very strong over the first 3 days of camp, and the boys that have been in town here are really enjoying it. I mean, it's a beautiful place to live, for one, so it's an easy place to live and stay positive and stay motivated. And I think that is very important, and I think we've done a good job in terms of our leadership group that is coming back from last year to help influence the right way the new guys now.
With the players that you've brought in terms of transactions, with the guys you've recruited, with your returnees, would you say that there's already a personality with this team, or is it a bit early to say?
Yeah, I think in terms of a personality, I think the group that we have right now is very anxious. I think there's a lot of confidence seeing the amount of skill and speed that we have moving forward through camp, and some of the guys that we brought in via trade and the comfort level like we talked about. So I think the anxiousness of playing that opening night, I think is the part that we're really looking forward to and getting started.
One last thing before I let you go, Blaine. What does it mean to be a Surrey Eagles player?
Being a Surrey Eagles player, I think our mentality here in Surrey is just a lunch bucket crew. We want to be humble enough to know that every day is important to put our work boots on and make sure that we come to the rink with a strong work ethic. We really emphasize the fact that there is life after hockey. There's a bigger picture in this, so all the lessons that we're learning here, will correlate to life, and we just want to make sure that we're taking care of 22 young men that have traveled, far distances from home, and to explore the game of hockey a little bit further. And we just want to be that group that at the end of the day, when guys are alumni 15 years from now, they say thanks and they want to come back and say hi. That part is pretty special to see. I think we've had a rich history of alumni, and opening night we kind of see it with Scott Gomez dropping the puck. So it's pretty neat to be a part of this group.
All right, looking ahead to the 2016-17 BCHL season for the Surrey Eagles, it is the head coach and GM, Blaine Neufeld. Hey, Blaine, thanks so much for doing this, and best of luck this season.
Thank you.